today's webinar. This is the AI Revenue Multiplier. I'm your host for today, Camilla Hasler, and I can tell you that in terms of today's event, this session, and what we're going to cover today, there is just a lot for us to start to experience here. So we will start. We will go live. People will join us as we begin. So with that, I'd like everyone in the chat just to pop, where are you calling in from today? Like, where are you calling in from? What are you excited about today? And what do you want to learn? Tell me what you want to learn. And we're just going to give, again, the group about 60 seconds more. And yes, and just let those who are joining dial in. So let's just give them one more second to join, and we will go live very, very soon. But I want everyone who's here to just pop in the chat what you're excited to learn. Why have you joined today, and what do you want to take away from today as well? So hi to those who are jumping on. We have a lot to look forward to today. So I'm just giving a final link in the chat for our group. So first of all, hello, it's great to be with you here today. I don't take lightly you joining this webinar live, and we have a really exciting session today. So firstly, I just want to say thank you for joining. And let's get started with that. I'd like to reward those who are on time. So here's what we're going to learn today. We're going to learn some of the top 3 mistakes that people are making today with lead generation and how to avoid that. We're going to help you to get clarity around your lead generation and how you can generate leads organically in the next 14 days. Then we're going to talk about the top 3 mistakes that people make with their buyer personas. And then, of course, we're going to cover about lead generation and AI and how those 2 things work together really well now, and why this is a brilliant opportunity right now for business owners. So we've got a lot to cover. I'm super, super excited, and I cannot wait to share this with you. So with that, we're gonna dive on and we're gonna carry on. So here's my promise to you, which is I will show you 3 ways that you can attract and convert 4 times more clients on this session. So make sure you stay on this session. And then I will also help you to solve some of your key lead generation challenges with AI. So first of all, I want to ask you, ladies and gentlemen, have you ever found it tough to find leads and clients? And if you have, I'm going to cover these 5 things and why they're so crucial to your lead generation efforts. So number 1 is exactly why you need a lead generation, you need a lead data source, and you need a source for your leads. Then secondly, you're going to need an ICP, which is your ideal buyer profile. Next, you're going to need an offer which is really, really well aligned to your ICP, to your exact specific niche and ideal buyer. Then you're going to need sales messaging, which is relevant to that buyer. And then finally, you need some type of mechanism of outreach, which is going to repeat and going to get you steady results as well. So we will have a quiz later today as well. So make sure that as you watch this stream, make sure that you take notes as we go along. There will be some prizes to win and a couple of Amazon gift cards for those who take part in the quiz. Now, why lead generation became important to me was because when I realized in my own sales career, when it really dawned on me that the best way for me to win clients, to influence others, and to expand success in my business was to invite people to know more about me and my brand and my business. And that the more I was doing that, the more active I was. That was the specific moment for me. That was the turning point when I realized that sales started to happen. Sales started to happen because I was speaking to the right type of buyers who were interested. They were either already buying what I did, or they were potentially having problems which I could help them to solve. So in terms of, my why today is to help others to achieve their own success in sales. And let me tell you again that in terms of sales and business, I've been there. I've done it. I've made seven figures in sales, but today my why is really to help others to achieve that faster, but also to achieve success in business, whatever that looks like for them. So again, I made you a promise at the start of joining this session. And like I say, I don't take lightly the opportunity to be in front of you today, but also more importantly, the opportunity to help you to rediscover lead generation if you've done it before, or if you have never conquered lead generation, and many people and many businesses have never conquered lead generation. Again, I take seriously today's session and I'm excited to help you. But before we go deeper, I would like to invite you to share your why with me as well. So I've told you a bit more about my why and the fact that having achieved seven figures in sales across multiple years, having sold to hundreds of companies, now I feel like I have that abundance and that track record to help others to do the same. So it's a sense of reaching that new level in terms of discovering a higher purpose and a why. And again, I'm sure many people joining this call are discovering and so aware of exactly why they decided to do what really lit them up and what they wanted to do. Because let's face it, at a certain point in our lives, we realize that it's not just about the success, not just about the results. It's about the impact that we leave and the contribution and the impact that we make on others and for others. So again, because I've created my own wealth, I'm able to do this. And because I've done it, I want, though, passionately for you to do the same and for many more. And that's really why I'm here. Again, I don't have to do this. I want to do this. And first, with that, and I'm just checking the chat, and again, feel free to comment in the chat if you would like to tell me your why. I'd love to hear it, and we'll look at it later. But what is it about wealth? Okay, so wealth and wealth creation, and this is really what lead generation is part of. So let's start at the top. Wealth sustains a business. Wealth allows for scaling, and success comes from your business growth. Success is made, as you will have no doubt discovered, as an entrepreneur. And your business needs that discovery. It needs the moment when someone discovers what you do. And they, from that moment, perhaps become one of your best clients. And then from that moment on, they work with you time and time again. Who's had that moment? Who here on this event has had that moment where they have just simply worked with a client again and again because it's been such a great fit? So again, this is all about how we get to have more of those types of opportunities because we've reached out to more people and we've offered that invitation to work with us and to discover and find what we do so well. And this is really in essence what lead generation is. So again, it's not complex, but it's about increasing our chances to make sales and the number of customer reviews that we have going at any one time, the number of conversations. Prospecting is compounding. So it's building. The more incoming inquiries that we have, but also the more outgoing conversations that we have. And so if we think about it, sales is going to be about your influence and the number of the increased chances that we are giving ourselves with more conversations and more leads. And if we were to generate enough sales activity and momentum and quality leads and activity, then we were to implement tools and systems. That is the point. That's the crucial tipping point where we would start to see conversion and results. So sales prospecting always relates to the number of people that we're speaking to. And of course, the more we do outreach and the more activity that is going on at any one time, the more chances are that we will start to see this happen. But for this to really work, we need, like I said earlier, we need that ideal client. We need that match. We need that close match for what we solve and what we do. And you'll know this well. And then we'll need, of course, our amazing expertise and clarity on are offering, of which, again, many people joining today have exact clarity. Clarity is not the thing. Maybe it's about the ability to generate more desire in those we're speaking with. Maybe that is the thing. It's like we're having these conversations. What we want is more people to be like, oh, hey, can you tell me a bit more about this? You know, for that interest to be really present. And we all need sales, right? And it's, again, this is a big moment, because here on this call, here in this session, I'm going to help you to start to build or rebuild that toolkit that you can take and you can apply time and time again. We're going to cover off 3 prompts for lead generation. And as a result of attending this session live, you will receive your lead generation playbook, your sales scorecard, plus you will also receive my persona templates, which you can take and again, build out your personas, and my lead gen checklist. So as a result of attending today live, you will each receive those. And I want to, again, thank you so much for joining. Now we're going to have a fun quiz, and let's get started. So this is going to be a true or false quiz. And in order to take part, I just want to invite you to type in the chat, or you can just play along, just write it down. But on average, how many leads do you think that organizations generate per month? Okay. And we have multiple choice here. So do you think it is 500? Do you think it is 700? Or do you think it is 1,877? Pop in the chat. Answer 1, 2, or 3. You can just put 1, 2, or 3. And I'm just going to give you a moment. So this is the average number of leads that most organizations generate per month. Okay, time's up. So I'm going to tell you the answer. So the answer is 1,877 leads. Now, do you think that that is a large sounding number or a small sounding number? I'm really, again, I want to help you to reflect on that. Does that seem a lot? Imagine if you, for your business right now, had 1,877 leads. Would you feel that was overwhelming? Again, I think personally that stat is impressive. I think that's really, really great. And that shows me what is possible. And that's another reason we're here today, ladies and gentlemen, because we want to understand what is possible for us and to know that many businesses are experiencing it, and we can replicate and experience exactly the same success, whether it's happened for us in the past or not. The next true or false question I'm going to ask you is, on average, what percentage of buyers are more likely to engage with companies that use personalization? So again, there's absolutely no wrong answer here. I want you to guess the average number of buyers who are more likely to engage in an email or a communication which has been personalized, right? So again, there's no wrong answer here. So do you think it's 10%? Do you think it's 20%? Do you think it's 50%? Or do you think that it's 40%? Okay. So everyone, here is the answer, drum roll. The answer is 80%. Okay, so 80% of buyers are more likely to engage with companies that use personalization. So that's a really powerful stat. Okay, so again, there's no wrong answer, but isn't that impressive? So that just shows the potential of buyers to engage with our material if we apply the same thing. The next true or false question we're going to do. Okay, great. And thank you, Bhavin, for putting some answers in the chat. I want to see some more guesses in the chat. There's no wrong answer. Please take part. Love to see everyone's guesses here. So what's the number of hours do we think that people find leads from social media after spending what number of hours per week on social media in the DMs, doing content, etc.? Do you think it's 2 hours? Do you think it's 4 hours? Or do you think it's 6 hours? Okay, any guesses? 2 hours, 4 hours, or 6 hours? What sounds right to you? I'm going to give everyone just a couple more moments. So it's 2 hours, 4 hours, 6 hours. Okay, the answer is 6 hours. So that's how long per week that people who are, again, they're investing their time, they're putting the work into DMs, and they are seeing results and leads from social media. So 6 hours. Now, what is that per? It's less than 1 hour a day. So if we think about that, again, the reason I share these with you is because hopefully this is just showing you what's possible for you. If we were potentially building in less than 1 hour a day, 40 minutes, 1 hour or 40 minutes, on average, we could have one day off, we would start to find leads on social media. And today, small businesses are just not guaranteed ongoing leads and new clients. And this is the case for virtually every business. So what we could say is that success in business is not an accident. It's actually the result of really deliberate planning, intention, and persistence, right? On behalf of you, the business owner. And if we just take a moment and we just close our eyes, okay? So I just want to invite everyone just to close your eyes and just think for a moment, what does your success look like? Or what could it look like? And I'm just going to give you a moment. So just close your eyes and just think about that. What could your success look like if you could achieve some of the results that I just shared with you there? Right? You've got leads on social media. You've got buyers interacting with your content. You've also, the first stat as well, 1,877 leads. Okay, so just open your eyes again. Open your eyes again. And I just want to, again, I hope that was helpful because, again, if we think about it, what we want and the success we can see for ourselves is present. It's right there. But all we need to do, we can see what we want. We can see what we want for our business. That's not the challenge. It's getting there, right? It's that bit in between. It's that bit from having the vision, having the amazing business, which you've set up. And then it's that point of the trajectory, right? And really taking off as a business. So let me introduce you to three key lead generation trends in 2025. So the first of those is hyper personalization. And that goes back to what I said about the more personalized we're making our marketing campaigns, the more that we're potentially leveraging AI to tailor our content and offer more individualization to segments of prospects and potential clients. That is enhancing the effectiveness of that content. The second key trend is multi-channel campaigns, which reduce costs. And when I say multi-channel campaigns, I mean campaigns across, and that could be an outreach campaign and a DM campaign and a content campaign. So a campaign, when I say multi-channel campaigns, which reduce costs, that could simply be that you decide to do a certain cadence of posting on your different social platforms plus lead generation outreach. And because multiple channels have been shown to be the most cost effective for outreach. And in fact, you can get a 31% lower cost per lead compared to where you just choose one channel. And who's done that here? We've all potentially done that. We've just chosen one channel. We've said, this is my channel. I really like this. I'm just going to keep doing it. The next one is video content dominance. Now, video content as a method for lead generation is incredibly powerful. And you will have seen the incredible increase of reels on the likes of TikTok, YouTube, and LinkedIn. And again, this is because video it's noticeable. It's where we can get our message across. Again, video content continues to be very dominant and effective in lead generation efforts as well. Now, I want to share some other really startling statistics with you. Okay, so what if I told you that 91% of small and medium businesses with AI say that it boosts their revenue? And that's a huge stat, isn't it? 91%. I mean, it's practically 100% in the world of percentages. And this is according to the Salesforce Small Business Report. And for those who know Salesforce, Salesforce is one of the top CRM, customer relationship management platforms in the world. So again, what a great statistic, and how How much potential excitement does that create for you to know that the vast majority of small businesses applying AI are seeing revenue boosts? Then, in addition to that, 29%. So this is the number of revenue that organizations using AI in 2024 reported an increase by. 29% higher sales growth than their peers as a result of applying AI. And that was according to Gong. And Gong is one of the leading AI and call analytics tools in the world. So it can record sales calls. They work with some of the largest companies in the world, doing some of the most sales in the world. So again, they really know because they're recording every single call that reps are making. So they're seeing that's the difference. That's the lift in revenue. So let's think a little bit about the context right now for us as business owners. So have you ever found that client loyalty is changing and that you feel maybe a little bit like the business edge that you have as a result of your expertise is at risk from competitors? And maybe that's because they have bigger budgets. Maybe it's because, again, what is it that's making client loyalty so changeable? Is it that you felt, oh my goodness, larger companies have bigger budgets, more social media, and good tech? Well, the answer is doesn't have to be like that. And in fact, who's ever experienced this? Bad data quality. Who's ever bought some leads in the past? Maybe they bought a list and the lead quality was really bad. And in fact, the contact information was not accurate. And the client, and they spent more time just trying to clean up the list and enter it into their CRM. And in fact, they just felt like it just put them off because the contact info was out of date. And they thought, gosh, wow, is it not even possible to get robust lead information to contact the right prospects? And maybe you experienced a little bit of this. Maybe you experienced a bit of a fear that by trying something new in your lead generation, that you were potentially wasting time and that you were going to be implementing a strategy which was rapidly going to become outdated. And that gave you some doubts and this sense of doubt, so much so that you didn't really commit to even properly reviewing that new process because you were so conscious of the preciousness of your time and also the importance of preserving that time. Or maybe you felt this pressure. Maybe you felt the pressure to stay relevant and keep up with the pace of change in AI and tech, but then you found that it's actually quite difficult because almost every single week there's a brand new release from one AI language learning model or other. There's new AI tools, and it's almost impossible for you to actually know what is good and what is bad. And maybe at times in your business and where you've got to in that business journey, it just seemed to take far, far longer and be so much harder than you ever realized before you started your business to actually get a result with leads and sales, just like maybe you expected or maybe you were told. And that can be really tough. Or maybe you've felt like, oh my goodness, the best clients and prospects, the clients I really want, are just not able to find my business because then I can't afford paid search and ads and algorithms. And that can be really challenging. And in terms of the pressure that you might have felt as well, you might have been feeling the pressure to promote constantly, though it didn't come naturally for you. Maybe you felt a little bit of uncertainty around, and maybe you still feel uncertainty around the revenue stream that you're looking to build and maintain. Maybe you had a bit of a do-it-all mindset and you saw it as important to do everything yourself, set it up, and really, work on that thing yourself. But then you quickly found that there just wasn't enough time to do all of the different things you wanted to do with your day. And we've all been there. We've all maybe felt as an entrepreneur, maybe, again, is this something I need to do alone? Do I need to learn it? And do I need to do it all on my own in order to, because maybe I can't afford to find and resource someone to do it. So it's really, again, I really, really, in terms of this and in terms of some of these challenges, again, another one might be that you've had some failed attempts and you've had some business promises. Maybe this isn't your first business. And maybe, again, you worked with some business partners who didn't keep their word to you. And in fact, they let you down, and they let you down really badly. And you had to build back up that business and that client base and that revenue. And in fact, again, you trusted that business partner, and that just made you feel like, what was the point? And maybe, again, I want to share with you that in terms of false promises, I know there's all too much of that going on. And I can tell you that I will always treat clients with integrity and respect. And I will always, always, always make sure that I maintain that. And that's something that I hold very close to me. And I always have throughout my entire sales career, because it's a small world ultimately. And I know the importance of referrals, and I know the importance of, again, I've got to keep my word. So I will keep my word to my client. Doesn't matter who's annoyed with me, in my team, or if I have promised something, I will move mountains to make it happen. And I'm sure you're the same sometimes. But again, as you've probably experienced, there are some businesses out there who are not as full of integrity. And maybe in terms of leads in particular, you felt disempowered by some of these particular situations on the slide. Maybe there've been Instagram or other social media algorithm changes and your content's getting less views. Maybe some of the prospects that you were speaking with just simply stopped replying and went quiet, and you had no idea why. Maybe you've tried running some ads and you were really excited, but unfortunately they didn't have the exact results that you thought. And maybe you believe that, again, AI software just wasn't for you. It was too early, or maybe it was for big businesses. And maybe you were also feeling like you were competing with others in your niche who had less good offers than you, but yet they were seeing potential results. And why was that? It just didn't quite translate. And something I want to say on this is that even those in the AI industry are experiencing uncertainty and challenges a lot. And this is a headline from just last week, where an OpenAI researcher, this was someone very close to some of the biggest transformations in the AI and the race to create the best possible AI. And he quit his role because he claimed that AI labs are taking a risky gamble, too many risks with humanity amid the race towards artificial general intelligence. And who's ever felt, again, maybe a little bit of a threat or a little bit of fear around, again, the potential of AI's development? Well, here's what I want to share with you. I want to share with you this slide and stat, because in fact, this stat and slide is showing that some of the top sellers, some of those with the biggest sales results, are applying AI and automation. And here's what they're seeing. 31% of the top sellers are using AI and automation for prospect outreach messages. 34% are using AI to get bigger insights around their buyer personas and what they want. 35% are using AI to automate manual tasks, right? So if we, again, let's think about what we need to do. What's the challenge that we're trying to overcome as business owners here? And that is simply to master cold traffic sales and lead generation. Okay, we want to achieve a simple aim and goal, which is to achieve success. And maybe we don't know exactly how to attract the right customers on autopilot. And if we don't figure this out, maybe we've even felt worried that we won't be able to stay in business. So now I want to share with you the 3 biggest mistakes that people and business owners in particular make with AI and lead generation. And this is sending generic, non-personalized messages. So here's an example of an outgoing message which is not very personalized. I help businesses like yours scale with digital marketing. Let's connect. Okay, so again, it's a bit bland. Personalization, as I've said, can boost response rates by as much as 112%. And again, 80% of outreach messages are still being sent highly generic. So there's an opportunity for us, and this is what I want to teach you today. This is one of the things I want to teach you, that if we can personalize more, our outreach is going to stand out more. because again, if 80% of all the messages being sent are just similar and there's a sea of sameness, how easy is it for us to just take that further step and stand out? So that's how to fix this. Just personalize your message, take a moment more, think of a specific pain point, use AI to do this. And I'm going to share with you a few ways to do this. And again, here's an example of this being applied. So, hi, John. I saw your post on this topic. It was super insightful. I work with founders tackling, then insert the top pain point that you believe John is facing. Curious, have you tried this type of, and then insert your solution? Yeah. Simple and to the point, but just with a tiny bit more personalization and a tiny bit more hook around the pain as well. So here's the second biggest mistake. The second biggest mistake that people make with lead generation is just a complete overload of information, right? Who's ever got an outreach message which is this long and you simply don't know where to start? So maybe you just close the message. A common mistake that like certain lead generation businesses are doing in terms of their outreach is they're just putting everything in. And did you know that messages with less than 50 words get up to 40 more responses? So if you ever want to get more responses and replies, just keep it to 50 words. And I know this sounds, but that's pretty easy. We can use word count on Word, and we can just do that. So again, simple, keep it short and intriguing, leave them wanting a bit more. How about something like, I notice your company focuses on, and again, this is a corporate example, but again, I recently helped a similar company, such and such, benefit in this way. Would love to share more, open to a quick chat, open to a coffee, something informal. And this is something that, again, I apply in my, again, I'll apply, let's have a coffee. Let's be more informal. Because again, it puts clients and prospects at their ease when I'm able to say to them, how about this? How about a coffee? So again, suggest and ask as part of your outreach message. So we always want to have one thing that we want, and it can just be, would you share if this is, something you're currently experiencing, and again, we don't want to get too personal too soon, so we need to time this well. But we always have an ask in every communication. There's just one step we need them to take. Maybe it's look at my website, look at my Instagram page. Again, let's always have an ask. Okay, the third biggest mistake is not following up properly. Who's ever had this where someone is interested? And did you know that, okay, again, there's 60% of replies come from just one more follow-up. And most outreach stops after one attempt, according to HubSpot. Now, one attempt. Okay, now who has ever found on this call, and I just really want to who's ever found that one attempt at trying something, they've got it right first time? Because in my own experience, and I've learned things like portrait painting, I've learned golf, and again, one attempt. I was never going to achieve the result I wanted in one attempt. But one attempt is what most people, most business owners or sellers are applying in terms of outreach. They expect an instant response. So would you agree with me that partly it's the persistence? So if we do a sequence, right, a 3 to 5 message sequence over 7 to 10 days, do we see how a prospect starts to get familiar? They start to, and when we're building, we're layering on for our prospect with each communication. So again, we're taking them from that step of 0 to warmer just through our communications with them, because each time we're sharing just a tiny bit more. Oh, did you know that? Oh, here's something you might find useful. Oh, and by the way, and again, they're just warming up. So we can see this as cold to hot. We can see this as 0 to 100, however you want to equate this. But essentially what we're looking to do is to lead someone down the path. We want them to go from 0 interest to 100% interest and to conversion. And if we think about this, this is about lead outreach on social media. Okay, so let's say that our approach is on Instagram, and Instagram is one of our channels where we want to achieve the maximum lead generation results in 14 days. all we need to do, and this is, again, I would write this down, I would take a screenshot. All you'll need to do, again, is find a list of those in your niche with a bigger following than you have, right? And then send DMs to those followers and then invite those followers to learn more. If possible, as part of that DM sequence, if they're interested, then we want to take that further. We want to start to build towards inviting them to book a call, but not on the first message. But yes, we're working towards that objective. And then once we have that call, we're looking for the purchase. Now, this is a really simple flow, but again, I'm sure you'd all agree that this is something we can all apply to simply look for Instagram accounts in our niche with a bigger following and simply decide to follow that account, look for followers who are in our niche and ideal client profile, and then to reach out to those specific followers. And again, there are limits on Instagram, but it's super simple. So here's how we're fusing AI into this process. So we've just gone through a couple of key techniques. And now, okay, we want to fuse AI. We want to leverage AI for some of this. So how about we use a prompt to get and build the content of our DM, of our direct message script, and we want to enhance it. So we can simply go to ChatGPT or our favorite language learning model. We can input who our target audience is. We can input what the outcome is we want, and then we can input maybe the specific niche of our ideal buyer and a little bit more about them, and then we can ask for the best possible messaging to get a more engagement from those followers, to get more replies, right? So it's as simple as that. Then we get that output, we refine it, we work on it, we personalize it more, maybe we put our brand on it, we make sure it's within our brand voice, and then we can simply run with that. And there are lots of people in business who, again, AI can help to differentiate, can help you to stand out more, can help by giving you those maybe keywords, key phrases to include in your outreach so that you stand out, so that you have a nuance. And you can even include that in your prompt. Give me catchy, unique, again, give me something really original. And if you include that in your prompt, you will get that output. And this is what a lot of businesses are not doing. They're not taking the time to refine those prompts. They're simply going with the very first output and running with that. And what if I told you that 57% of companies who have a blog, have you ever thought of having a blog? They have generated at least one lead from that blog. And again, that's something that you can set up, you can maintain, and you can simply invite people to follow it, learn more about you, and as a result of that, generate leads. So, okay, in recap then, in terms of a lead generation DM script, this is a core part of your, again, there are several different outreach methods available to us: email, direct message on social media. And then, of course, there are going to be calls, and then there are going to be face-to-face. And those are really the primary ways we can, really build our leads. So in terms of lead generation and the structure, we want to have a good, catchy hook and opening message. We want to maybe we want to ask about goals or challenges dependent on what we do. And then we want to ask what they might have tried before or what didn't work. So we want to know a bit about what they're doing right now. And then we want to offer some type of advice. Maybe we notice something on their profile. Maybe there's something that we can already offer in terms of something that doesn't cost us money to provide. And then maybe we look to book a call with that person. So again, that's a really simple script. So in terms of the organic email and what we could do with an organic email to build leads in 14 days, right? So if we have a lead list of emails already, one of the things that people are not necessarily doing is marketing to their email list as frequently as they might actually, like in terms of when was the last time. There's a lot of people who are just sending content and kind of really nurturing their email list, but they're not necessarily selling ever. And again, maybe it's that there's a specific promotion that's time sensitive that you could run and launch to your existing mailing list. Now, if you don't have a big email list, that doesn't matter. It's all about the quality. If someone's been reading your content, if they've been interacting with you, even just joining your mailing list, they're interested. They want to hear more from you. So again, how about one of these? How about you offer them something? How about you offer a case study? You offer a case study that you've done, a success story, and you invite people to book a call. You give them an example of your work and what you've achieved, and then simply say, if you want to learn more, reach out to me. I currently am offering, XYZ. Give them a reason to reach out today and make it time sensitive. Another one could be maybe that you want to offer a strategy session. Maybe you've got a flash sale, some kind of promotion of that sort. Now, again, I don't recommend discounting the value of your offer, but sometimes, again, a reduction in price, no matter how small, can be a reason to reach out, a reason to email. Or you want to do a webinar campaign, which is, of course, is something that I do, which is around having regular webinars and inviting your mailing list to webinars to learn more about you. So, okay, in terms of generating leads in 14 days, if you have the budget and are really focused on your success, these are some sites that are database sites. So Apollo.io is one of these. So this has essentially curated data. It's built around lead generation, and this type of platform, and you can do a free trial, but this type of platform is going to save you a lot of time because it's already sorted lists and lists of people into industries, into higher intent, and into other things as well. And it has applied AI. It's applied AI in terms of lead scoring. It's applied AI in terms of messaging as well. So again, you don't even need to necessarily jump to the likes of ChatGPT. You can simply go into your Apollo platform and you can start to build and save lead lists. And essentially what these sites are all doing, Leads Gorilla is one which, if you're a business, now I say this because we've got people like Bhavin who are dialing in and others no doubt on the call. If you're the type of business who is marketing to local businesses, those listed on Google, Leads Gorilla is a great option. It's relatively low cost. And what Leads Gorilla does is it works off either Facebook or Google. So if Facebook or Google is your specific one of your channels and you want to expand, what Leads Gorilla essentially does is it pulls data of local business listings, and you can then search through those, and you can understand, again, based on your location, based on those you help, what businesses are there in your locality, and you can start your outreach that way. So scraping sites can save you a lot of time. Another completely free way to build a lead list would be to use an online directory, so the likes of Yellow Pages, Yahoo, and others. So of course you can look for online directories, many of which are shown here on this screen. So Yellow Pages is a classic in the US. Again, you'll need to research this, but if you are interested in free online directories, you could also try that. That brings us to mindset paradigms. And what if you believe that AI is a critical tool for your success in today's competitive market? What if you believe that? And what if it wasn't about changing you or anything about you, but it was about how you solve the exact same problem better than you've ever solved it before? What if it was about that? And what if you believed that it was possible for you to achieve your sales and your clients and whatever you can see for your business? And that goes back to our closed eye exercise. What if you did believe that it was possible for you? And what if, as a result of joining this session, you were willing to take accountable action for your sales and your leads, and you were willing to take a more proactive step in that and the success? Where does the accountability for your sales and lead generation sit with you today? If you're really honest, where has it been sitting? Has it been sitting somewhere under priority number 7? Where is your accountability on sales and lead generation? Are you tracking it? Are you conscious of it? Because again, our focus, as we know, focus goes where energy flows, as Tony Robbins says. So again, do we focus on this? How often are we willing to, as a result of joining today, perhaps? And what if you believe that success with AI was really possible for you, and in fact that AI is essential to business success, i.e., it was an essential. You had to implement it. It was like there was a change in the world, and suddenly AI had to be applied across every single business. Would you treat it differently if it was a necessity? If you had to do that, if it was like your tax return? Because here's the thing, many businesses are not treating lead generation like it is, lead generation with AI, like it is imperative. They do it well and that they build in AI. But that leaves them without the ability to prevent some of those exact struggles and to have the growth with sales and lead generation. So let me just further demystify some parts about sales and tech. And how do you think that you could better overcome some of the blocks that you have around who your buyers are, what they want from you, where they're not sitting in front of you every day? That's the thing. Today, as business owners, our buyers are, they could be based in Australia. So again, proximity is no longer the best way for us to learn more about our buyers and what they think and what they believe and what they want. Yes, we have the internet, but we don't also have time to search every resource available to us. We want curated data which can help us to overcome those blocks. And we want to achieve more through, and perhaps what we need to do that is just more AI education and guidance. And I'm going to have a little bit later an offer where I'm going to share with you more about how you can potentially do that. And what if we focused on immediate versus future gains? Everybody loves an immediate gain and an immediate result. But here's the thing, if you were able to wait for something 20 times bigger, if you were able to wait just that few more weeks and months, wouldn't you wait? Wouldn't you do it? And what if what you want is just consistent high quality clients and predictable revenue streams? And also, though, you really want that authority and to feel that sense of being an industry leader and a trusted expert that clients come to, clients seek you out. And maybe you want that visibility as well. You want those speaking opportunities to fly into your inbox and to have a stronger personal brand and to attract more of the ideal clients more easily, for it just all to feel a bit more easy. Or maybe what you want is freedom, and you want simplicity, and you just want to be able to enjoy your life, but to have a great business, to have a really successful, good business, not to feel chained to it, not to feel like you have to be there, 24/7 to keep it going. And maybe what you want as well is you want a sense of contribution and impact and purpose, and to be living the life of your dreams with full of passion and creating value for others. And here's the thing, right? That all of that is achievable for you. And you know that, or you wouldn't be here. But some of those things do take longer. As we know, they take a little bit longer. But we can't let that become a reason for us to wait. We need to do everything like it's our last opportunity every single day. And here's why it's not too late to apply AI into your business. And here's why, as well, I just want to level with everyone and say, here's why you can't have figured it all out yourself. You cannot. And that's because you have your specific expertise, which took time to cultivate and develop. And you've been working with clients and delivering. And again, you wouldn't, no one, literally no one can solve all of those problems in their life and their business. And so we need others. We need the lessons. We need the ideas from others. And so what if I were to present to you here on this screen, what does it all look like? Okay, so in terms of how to implement that AI driven business strategy, well, it looks like being clear on your business goals, reviewing the different areas of your business, the different AI tools available to you, and implementation. right? It's as simple as this, a 4-step process. And here's how AI for lead generation really works, right? So, first of all, in terms of intent and list building, AI can help to identify higher intent buyers. Maybe they're interacting with websites similar to yours. Maybe they're searching on Google for solutions like yours. AI can help to identify higher intent buyers who are more likely to be currently reviewing what you do. And that saves a huge amount of time because it cuts out all the weeds and the bits in between and just gives you and just tells you these specific leads right now. They want what you have. And isn't that amazing that we can have access to that now? AI call agents. This is another thing. Today, cold calling with AI agents, and AI agents have developed hugely so that they're more empathetic, they're more able to handle more complex tasks, and they're more able to fulfill and book and convert more clients to calls. So, AI call agents are another phenomenal AI lead generation method. And again, for those that are interested, I do have a specific offer that relates to AI call agents later. Then, in terms of social outreach and automation with more personalization. Now, we've talked about this quite a bit today, but again, AI can help us to go deeper, go more levels down, create much better messaging and sell scripts, as I've already shared some examples with you, and to then potentially apply some mechanisms around sustaining this. Maybe it's the likes of a chatbot platform with keywords like ManyChat. Maybe it's Zapier, the automation platform. But again, there are different ways for us to do this. So let's now talk about your specific automated, repeatable lead generation system with AI. Because if you want an easy way to do this, definitely keep listening now. The easiest way to do lead generation with AI is via AI agents and GPTs, automations, database and social scraping, which we've already talked about here. So let me tell you, recently I created, and some of you on this webinar today have actually trialed and tested some of my custom GPTs. These were GPTs on ChatGPT that I designed and set up in order to support lead generation. Now, why did I create these? Well, I created these because for anyone that's ever used the likes of ChatGPT or another platform, it can do a huge amount, but it also isn't necessarily super expert in one specific thing or two specific actions. That's why a GPT is laser focused on achieving specific tasks. So it's essentially more equipped to just keep delivering on one specific set of objectives around, for example, lead generation or sales or building your social media audience. So I built these GPTs to better serve others, and I'm really pleased that I've had these positive reviews. And again, for those who are interested, later I have an opportunity to have access to these GPTs even more. And again, in terms of going back to our lead generation and the ideal buyer, what are some of the key mistakes that people are making time and time again in terms of identifying their ideal buyer? So before they're even starting lead generation, they have misidentified potentially their ideal buyer, or they're applying this, which is to take too broad an approach with messaging, and they're trying to appeal to everyone. So they haven't really settled on one ICP. What they've actually done is kind of blur it. So it's like, well, it's business owners, it's it's entrepreneurs, it's this, it's that. And if you've got 6 ICPs and you're trying to, as you're creating messaging, trying to appeal to all of them, here's the thing, ladies and gentlemen, that you won't have the same response because it won't be so niched in. It's too general, it's too broad. But some people have taken the opinion that, well, I want to appeal to more people, I don't want to cut off from anyone. But actually, the more we niche down, and I know we have Melina who's joining the call today, and she's recently niched down into eczema for babies, right? Eczema for babies is a very specific niche. And again, she's chosen a super specific niche because ultimately, if you can dominate in one very, very specific niche, you can take that forward and you can really, again, you can see huge success because today's buyers want to come to super experts in specific niches and areas. So again, don't be afraid with your ICP and ideal buyer profile to niche down. And so define your persona based on not just demographics and psychographics, but also what's the best fit for what you solve and can do? Who is the most likely to buy from you based on who you can help and who wants help the most? And it doesn't have to be tomorrow, but it does have to be them more likely to want to buy from you sooner. That's an important one as well. So a second big mistake is that people are too focused on surface level demographics. So they're just thinking about location and age. And that's because many social platforms, in terms of ads, they're just helping people to think about those types of things. But actually, do do people really get to know their audience and their buyers? And do they really go into, what keeps what's called the psychographic? So what keeps your buyers up at night? What do they want? What do they dream of? What do they not tell anyone but secretly want? What are some of the beliefs or experiences that are coming up for them that have shaped their choices today and continue to do so? Same thing with mistakes as well. Maybe they're in repeat thought patterns and making similar mistakes. What are those mistakes? You want to know all these things, and now you can. Another one would be another mistake in identifying the ICP would be ignoring the buyer journey. So again, thinking that people will just wake up one day and want to purchase from them. Well, no, we need to think about what's the occasion? What's the typical lead up to someone wanting to buy from me? What's the journey to that? So, for example, if I was looking to buy a car, wouldn't necessarily just go out one day and say I want to buy a car. I would maybe my car starts to develop some brake problems, and then my car starts to it starts to get a bit rusty, and over time, maybe it's over like 3 months, and I keep noticing, and I'm like, oh, do you know what, this car, it just doesn't seem to get me to where I wanted. It's just I'm suddenly feeling, and then it's a feeling. Let's remember as well that buyer journey triggers can often be a feeling, a moment, an experience. And we talked earlier in this webinar about the moment that I learned why lead generation is so crucial for sales success. The moment when I decided to follow my why and look to help more people to solve their own sales problems with no background in sales or expertise. And again, what was that moment? Those pivotal moments. We want to know, what are our buyer moments? What are the moments that define when they say, enough, today I will buy. Today I will buy this type of solution. No more of that problem, and that again is really important for us to understand, as well as values, its experiences. So I promised that everyone attending live today would get a copy of this, and this is just one of my buyer persona templates. So you will all get a blank copy of this to complete, but this is Olivia Wilson, and Olivia Wilson, this is a more complete persona profile. So we can see that Olivia is a quality improvement and coding specialist. That's her job. She has spent 3 years with her company. And has 5 years coding experience. Then in terms of motivation, again, this is really focused, and this is what I want you all to get to in your specific niches. So again, her motivation, what she strives for, is quality improvement, ensuring coding requirements are met, maintaining accurate records, enhancing the coding quality, etc. Her frustrations are coding system issues, vacant posts, inexperienced staff members and colleagues. And what's her personality? Is her personality more extrovert or introvert? Is she more thinking or more feeling? Just coming back to what I was saying before about often our buyers have a feeling and then they take action, or they have a very logical review and buying process and they do loads of research and then they go out there and buy. So again, is your buyer thinking or feeling? Are they judging? Prejudging us now today in the sales process? So much of that sale has already been researched, it's already been evaluated before they even sat down in front of someone. That's what buying can look like today. And again, they could be very intuition driven and based. So that's an example of a buyer persona. So let's just break this down. Okay, so we've got pains, goals, we've got benefits, So I would like everyone to get to this. I would like you to have, post-it notes here to understand in terms of what are those pain points, what's the top one, top goals, then in terms of how your solution can potentially benefit them, that specific persona. We again, we want to have a good number of those, and be very strategic about this. So here is for everyone, screenshot this. This is a prompt to make your own buyer persona, and you can take this and you can paste this into your favorite LLM. So the first one is, and you can read these afterwards, but the first one is just written to say, let's develop a comprehensive profile for the ideal customer of, and then insert your product and service. Please ensure to specify the product or service details clearly. And then there's the second one. What are the greatest fears related to her bracket specific problem or his specific problem? Describe the worst case scenarios that keep her awake at night and how these fears could potentially hold her back. Again, very specific. Next, insert your avatar name or type. In considering their deep care for the people in her life, how might her struggles with these fears unintentionally affect her loved ones? Now, that's a build on the last prompt. Okay, so these are designed to be done at the same time, ideally. Okay, because they will build and they will get deeper and richer. And you can also include at any one time, for that first prompt, ask me 5 questions that you need to give me the best possible output. So again, if you add that into your prompt, then the AI will develop your prompt even further for you, just from the responses you give. So next, so here are the key points in terms of really understanding your buyer persona and what needs to be done. We need to identify the background, really consider professional and personal background, professional and personal motivations. Recognize their challenges more deeply, research them, identify the specific 1 to 3 top challenges that your persona is facing each and every single day, and be really clear on them. So here's another prompt that if you do not know your ideal customer, if you do not know at all, maybe you're just starting out in a business, or maybe it's just been a long time since you re-examined it and you just want to be clear and sure that you're taking definitely the right ICP, you can simply paste this in and get started. And this relates to marketing strategy and business development efforts, right? This is really, really helpful. So you can screenshot this as well. So next, in terms of the applications of AI, what are some of the key applications of AI? Well, those are chatbots and automation, chatbots for sales and customer service, AI platforms and tools, of course, and these will often have specific functions such as copywriting, such as video content creation, virality scoring. Again, AI platforms and tools, these are the specific tools that I will use to apply and leverage AI. So why should we trust generative AI? And here's the thing. We do still need to be careful not to input sensitive, personal, or professional data into a language learning model. And that's because they are built on an open source platform, which means that data essentially can be read and goes back to the likes of OpenAI or whoever owns that platform. So we do need to be careful to protect our sensitive data. But some AI platforms like Claude have extra layers built in around security for users, which is important as well, which means that prompt outputs are not shared. So budget for lead generation. Now, here's something that is really important. If we want to see bigger results in our lead generation, yes, there's our own efforts. Yes, there's how intentional we are about it. Yes, there's our accountability. But ultimately, what budget we decide to put into our leads and to cultivating AI for our business is going to determine how much result we can see to a certain extent. So if we just have a limited budget, I would recommend, of course, that we work with a language learning model because that can simply fulfill more tasks, do more, and achieve more things based on a limited budget. But here's the thing, that if you were to make available specific budget for leads and AI, for tools and platforms, this would help you around some of the challenges that you might be facing around, for example, which buyers to reach out to first. So the likes of Apollo or other lead generation database platforms, there's Zoom Info, there's hundreds of them. But those platforms have curated and current contact data, and it's their responsibility to maintain it. So the difference would be that you would be buying into a platform and a source of data which is cleaned and validated. And that can save you a huge amount of time to using a directory, contacting businesses from the Yellow Pages or Google. But again, it depends on what you're willing to make available. But for those, again, for those joining this call, for those looking actively for solutions around how to apply lead generation and AI and what tools to do that, I would say that if you're already spending on ads or if you're already spending on certain aspects of your business, that it can be, again, with leads, you know, and can see the results you're having because you get that immediate feedback essentially because you know if you're getting leads, you know if you're getting replies, you know if people are getting back to you or not. And the difference with that versus an ad where, yes, 5 people clicked on your ad, but again, you don't know where did those people go next? Did they click off? Did they, and again, did that result in an inquiry for you or not? And that's the difference, that where you do and develop and build your own lead gen, you own those leads and you own that interest and you develop and cultivate those leads. And essentially that's the difference. Right? Where we're on social media, we kind of rent that space. We rent it along with others. Yes, we have a space there, but we don't, as it were, it's a different type of again of relationship that we will have with those who see our content versus those who are responding to us, booking calls with us, responding to our emails, etc. So I did make this point earlier, but again, in terms of web scraping, this is something that's become absolutely huge. Web scraping is the basis for virtually every database platform now that exists. Typically, what it's doing is scraping publicly available data, extracting that, and then putting that into one platform or source. Today, with GPTs, there are GPTs, so there's again, a chat GPT called Scrap GPT, which can scrape websites and scrape information for us. And yes, we can use web scraping extensions as well. Some of those are free. And that can be a way, if we have no other choice, we can do some scraping from websites and extract that data into whether we upload it to ChatGPT in a PDF and ask it to create a list for us. These are some of the ways that we can create a very simple lead list where the types of businesses that we want to contact might be, for example, a hairdresser, a restaurant. If it's publicly available information and we're not looking for contact names, key roles, etc., then we may be able to piece together a list, pull that together via an AI, and then to do calls as a result of that, for example. So in terms of businesses who've applied AI successfully, here are 3 examples, and I just want to call out these examples and the results that they saw. So the first is a US-based marketing startup who they were struggling with maintaining a high volume of incoming leads, and they developed an AI-powered solution that automated their lead processing. So they were having a problem with, they actually had too many leads, but what they needed was some kind of qualification and some kind of scoring. So what their tool did was it helped to qualify and process those leads. And that helped them to see an increase in their sales by 20% because suddenly, again, that was applied for them. People, it reduced their manual labor time to do the same thing by 50%. Another example is a sales training company who enhanced their outreach efforts, and they implemented more AI-driven solutions. And they saw a 38% increase in their reply rate to their prospecting campaigns. And that's simply by applying AI. The next one is in terms of AI and human input being used to identify with targeted sales leads better. And this approach helped the businesses that this company was working with to more effectively manage their lead generation and the engagement of those leads, which ultimately just improved the experience for those leads, and they saw better, more conversion, more sales calls, and more interest. So now this is the bit that I'm super excited to share with you, and this is why many of you may have joined today to see more of my AI and sales formula. And now I'm going to share with you 3 steps for AI sales excellence and what this looks like. So this is, again, this is my proprietary framework that I've created, and it's a 7-step process around leads. It's called Lead Scout AI. And it essentially consists of what I call intelligent buyer persona creation. And what that looks like is it looks like implementing AI for lead scoring, having a system and a specific criteria that I'm scoring across and benchmarking. It looks at looking and identifying across loads of ICP, my ICP across platforms. But again, this is something that can be replicated. So what it's looking at there is examples of a specific ICP for one niche. Then in terms of AI for lead segmentation, so it's helping to prioritize the leads by intent, but also by engagement. So who replies, who reads and opens that email, or that SMS message, for example. And this is multi-channel lead generation, okay? And I want to be clear that that might mean a combination of AI call agents, it might mean email, and it might mean SMS as well. And it might mean LinkedIn, and it might mean Instagram with the same lead and contact. So then it's about analyzing the actual conversion rate, so having some success metrics and KPIs and optimizing that process over time. Here's the second step and key pillar that I want to share, which is buyer journey research. So this is about analyzing historical research data from your company, your business, and your customers, then identifying buyer behavior patterns. So I do this with, in part, Perplexity Research, and this is about helping to get more data points on your ICP before you've sold to them. In many cases, that is one of the problems that business owners are having. They haven't sold to enough of that specific ICP to really have a pattern. It's easier if they have a book of clients they've sold to. Then I'm looking to create more detailed buyer personas, segment those customers based on these AI insights, and to keep updating buyer profiles with brand new data, right? So that's what's really important here. So this is what I call, the buyer journey research with AI. And then here's the other one, which is intelligent. I call this intelligent buyer prospecting. So this is about what are the ideal prospect characteristics and attributes that I can apply to prompting on language learning models. How can I help clients to analyze data better and identify more potential leads? It's about developing more of a qualification criteria. So what is a best fit lead and what is not? It's also about scanning social media and social media keywords. I can do this across groups, right? So social groups that someone belongs to, and that can be helpful because then they become aware of when someone is talking about their specific topic of expertise. And again, AI today is able to search for specific keywords, which saves a huge amount of time. It can be monitoring and doing that while you're not even looking at those groups. And so that's really just about leveraging some of your existing social media collateral that you've probably built as part of your expertise over time. So it's a very intuitive system. And then, of course, it's about automating the initial outreach using AI and cadences. And then it's about refining, of course, and improving the exact strategies to be applied with AI. So what if you believe that your time is too valuable to waste? And what if, so look at this stat from Forbes, how generative AI could give us back at least 40% of our time. Who here on this webinar could just pop it in the chat? Give me a yes or give me a that would be me. If you would like back 40% of your time this week or last week, right? And that's the key thing that we start to realize that time is one of our most valuable resources. And McKinsey & Co. actually found that AI today, at the stage it's at, even now, and it's improving all the time, could already automate 50% of our work activities. And what if you knew that more than 40% of professional salespeople say that prospecting is the most challenging part of the sales process and selling for them? And they're professionals doing that day in, day out. So if 40% of professional sellers are finding prospecting challenging, could we perhaps give anyone here or watching this who is, again, experiencing some kind of, again, we need to recognize that this is hard. It's hard to do prospecting well, and that's why this problem exists for so many businesses. So what if you simply took the decision and you determined to stop doing certain things and start doing some new behaviors? What if it was just about habits and routines that you currently have in your lead generation? So, what if it was to stop slightly piecemeal approaches to lead generation with no judgment? And again, having unrealistic targets. Is that something that sometimes people on this session are doing? Are they setting themselves massively high number of sales that they expect to happen in a short term? And then suddenly, when that doesn't happen, is that causing some demotivation? So maybe it's about the targets. Maybe it's just about focusing on consistency to generate leads, and recognizing and being more dialed in and specific around our buyer type. And this is something that, again, I mentioned this quite a lot on this webinar, but I believe in terms of lead generation problems, this is often one of the crux. This is at the heart of it. And if we want more leads and we want more lead generation in a rapid space of time, we simply need to get more familiar and get to know our prospects more, and or get to know them again if we haven't changed, right? So here's my simple outreach plan. This is a very, very simple framework in 5 steps. It's simply that we want to identify and be clear for our outreach. Who are the leads we want? And what's the source of those leads? Where do they exist? Then we want to know, what's the offer? What are we going to be offering or speaking to our ideal clients about? What's one thing we can select? Be selective. Then we want to know why. Why are we selecting this specific type of ideal buyer or lead, and why they might be more likely to want to buy from us? Simple, simple. Next, we want to know where are we going to do our prospecting? Are we going to do it on LinkedIn? Are we going to do it based on the stat I gave you earlier about the success of multi-channel prospecting? Maybe we're going to choose 2 platforms, or maybe we're going to choose email and 1 social media platform. When are we going to do this? Well, of course, the when is going to be now. The when is going to be right away, as soon as possible, because again, we need to create some urgency for ourselves to do this outreach plan. We need to get into a cadence. And in order to do that, we need to simply get started, and then we can build on that. So this is my 12 P's outreach framework. So again, if you remember things very easily, you can look at the screen here, or you can screenshot. But in terms of 12 P's, so for me, in terms of lead generation and results, this consists of people. This consists of being personal to them and personable as well. It consists of performance. We expect to see some kind of traction and results where it's working. It consists of some level of persuasion for us to know, why would a prospect want to take that next step with us? Again, they don't need to necessarily buy from us, but we need to know, why might they be willing to listen to us? What is it? What's compelling around our offering for this type of prospect? Then we're going to have a little short elevator pitch that we're going to be ready to give. Then we're going to give, and we're going to use and leverage our personality in sales. And I'm a massive believer in this. And again, I really strongly believe that the more authentic we are as sellers, the more sales results we see, because buyers respond really well when we're really comfortable in our own personality, and we get to know theirs as well. Then we want to be public. We want to be very open. We want to be literally shouting off the rooftops about the fact that our niche and our specialism is, and who we can help is this specific person. So again, we're not selling to everyone, but we're being very public and open about the type of person we can help, the type of solution we offer. Be very public. Then we want to prospect, of course. We want to create our pipeline of potential leads. And then we want to, like I said, be selective on our platforms to do that. For our type of buyer, typically there are two platforms where that type of buyer is more likely to be existing, reading content, spending time. Then we want to be progressive. We want to take a progressive approach. We want to build and grow. And we want to be very, very persistent as well. Because again, based on that slide that I showed you earlier, the average person is only making one attempt to contact a prospect, which is simply not enough. Get to the seventh time, and then again, get to the fifth time even, and then we're much, much more likely to hear back, although it's difficult for some to do that. But again, we have AI and automation to help us to put mechanisms and cadences and reminders in place to actually get that to those specific prospects more easily. So let me ask you a question based on where you're at today. If you do nothing from this webinar, if you have joined this webinar or you're watching the replay, if you change nothing, you do nothing, and you don't apply anything different to what you're doing now, do you think that these metrics here will change? Do you think your client numbers will change significantly? Do you think that your numbers of new leads and fresh contacts will change, or your revenue? Or your annual target? Will any of these things change? Or do you think that with exactly the same approach, with no different action, with no different determination or effort, that in fact it'll be quite likely that you'll stay in exactly the same place? Or if anything, maybe there's a risk that something could decline or tail off with a specific client. So again, let's look at this from an old versus new paradigm and mindset. If our old paradigm and belief, if we had an old belief that we had maybe missed our chance to apply AI to sales and lead generation. Maybe we found in the past we believed that AI was complex or time consuming. We didn't want to go there. What if we changed that belief? What if we changed our belief that slaving away ourselves is just the way that it works and we trust it? What if we believe that instead, by embracing AI, by making progress, following a map and a system and a specific tools, that we can really learn to apply the essentials and we can get beyond the limits of where we're at today. We can go so much further. And what if, in fact, in terms of collaboration, that collaboration was also happening with tools and a coach and others and platforms? Again, let's look at this old versus new thinking. What if we went from believing that we didn't trust AI, we couldn't find new leads easily, and let's get how limiting that belief might have been. And maybe people felt like they didn't want to be an expert in something new like AI and tech. And that systems and tech were good for other people, but they don't need tech and AI to succeed. Or maybe the old belief was I do all right and I'm comfortable with my current business success. Maybe, again, was it that comfort was there? Well, what if we believe that a good tool for lead generation and AI and a better process can help me to get better and improve where I'm at today? What if we believe that we were ready to try new things and experiment to find the best fit tools for our business? And what if we started to get actually quite uncomfortable about where we're at in terms of lead generation efforts, sales, our opportunities, and our prospects? What if we really felt that? Well, now everyone, I have a quiz for you, and there are two prizes for this quiz. And this is only for those joining live who are here on the call now. So if you're watching the replay, I apologize. So, all right, get ready, everyone. Get ready to play. So the people with the most right answer, and we have got, I think it's 4 or 5 questions. Just going to tell you, anyone with the most right answers will win with a minimum of 2 right answers. Okay, so play along, comment in the chat, and let's get started. So what is lead generation in marketing? In a word, what is lead generation in marketing? Can you tell me, based on our session today, just feel free to pop it in the chat. I just want you to tell me in terms of what is lead generation in marketing? What do we think it's doing? What is it doing? Just going to give a moment to pop in the chat. Just guess. If you don't know the answer, feel free to just guess. Okay, we're going to move on to the second question. What is a key benefit of using AI for lead generation based on what you've heard today? Again, there's no wrong answers here, so feel free to just guess. What's a key benefit using AI in your lead generation? A benefit based on what you've heard today? Okay, I'm just going to give another 10 or 20 seconds. Just type in the chat, what is a key benefit of using AI for lead generation for an Amazon voucher? Don't forget, guys, if you respond, you will get the chance to win. The next question is, which AI technique helps in predicting potential leads? Which AI technique that I mentioned earlier helps in predicting potential leads? Have a guess if you don't know. Yep, we've got one guess here. Thank you. Okay, and how does AI improve lead nurturing? How does AI improve lead nurturing? Just again, how do you think, based on what you've heard today, how does AI improve lead nurturing? Good. Okay, yes. So keep popping your answers in the chat, everyone. And great. So we have one winner. So Bhavin is our winner. Bhavin has won an Amazon voucher. Well done to Bhavin. Congratulations. Bhavin answered 2 questions. He answered question 3. He said using tools. And then the final question as well, he said AI can time save, accuracy to match target audience. Very good. Well done, Bhavin. Good student. Okay, amazing. So congratulations to Bhavin. And let's move on. So now for everyone here today, you have 2 choices. And I am certain that just by taking what you learned today, and of course you'll get the replay, but just by taking what we've talked about today and applying it, that you can set and reach some good goals yourself. And if you'll remember, that was my promise to you. And if that was your only option, it would be worthwhile that you simply took what you learned today and you applied it to reach some of the goals that you had in lead generation. But what if I were able to play a more active role in your results, and if I took responsibility for your success and had some obligation to your future business and your outcome with leads? How might that change things for you to have my input and expertise? What if I could offer you more support, encouragement, steps and systems, and just make the path easier for you? Do you think that this would empower you if you had all of the expertise and knowledge that I have at my disposal? And I pass that to you. What if I had shortcuts and support systems and additional insights, more than I've shared here today, and I could go deeper to help you to get more of the results that you deserve and want? And that is why, with great pleasure, I'd like to tell you that there is that opportunity, and I'd like to share my offers with you today to continue what you have learned. But before we do that, this is a testimonial from one of my former clients called Wes. And I worked with Wes to help him with a business idea he had as a coach. And you can see that Wes shares here how he was able to present and pitch his business idea from scratch. He and I worked together just over about 6 to 8 sessions. But in that time, we were able to really get a direction for his business idea, get together a pitch, get together more structure to that pitch, and for him to then take and present that to serious investors. And another thing I'd like to share with you is here's why that I am definitely qualified to solve lead generation for you, because I've converted and prospected and I've worked in sales continuously. I still am in a selling director role. And because I have that awareness of what works and the practical, because it's not just theory, because I've used and tried and tested every AI lead generation tool and every database, I can advise you and save you considerable time in trial and error and even wasted resources. And because I'm a 7-figure seller, I've sold millions in revenue and I continue to sell in significant amounts. And of course, I've helped clients to get much closer to the dream outcomes and goals that they wanted in sales. So I've done this before. And here's another testimonial from Irma. who is an entrepreneur that I helped to just get started, just get off the block and really put her first business out there in front of more people. And in terms of what you will get as a result of purchasing this offer, here's what I can promise you. I can promise that by applying this process that you're going to become more confident. You're going to become closer to perhaps that image that you can see for yourself of this goal-shattering business owner, with more of the results that you right now you crave and know you want. Maybe you just simply want an offer and to feel that it's a bit more irresistible. It's harder for people to say no to you, and that you want to experience less rejection. Maybe you want to be recommended across your network, and you want decision makers to truly listen seriously to you. Or maybe you just want to really take charge of your lead pipeline and just secure more face time or interactions with leads and clients that matter and can make a difference. So here's what we did today, and here's what we learned, right? So we talked a little bit about the reality for many small businesses in lead generation struggles, and we looked at why it's not too late to learn AI and how you can reach this untapped potential in your lead generation via applying more AI tools and systems. We considered, compared with now, where you can be and where you want to be. And then we learned as well in terms of how AI can be effective to enhance your sales lead quantity and improve your outreach efforts and personalization. And we looked at some ways that it can help you to maintain that effort over time. So now I have for you an early bird offer, and I'd like to introduce to you an offer which is part sales formula, part system, part digital training, part list building, part system, part tool option, and part coaching. And here is what this can do for you. Like I said, all of this together is going to help you to build a strong and a relentless lead generation system, and you're going to get access to the AI GPTs that I've designed to specifically support with your lead generation process and these steps. And these have been trained and set up, and they're available now. And they can help around sales calls, around lead generation, and around growing your audience on social media, growing your audience on LinkedIn. So these are all very targeted and specific GPTs, which again, you'll get access to from this offer. So why this offer is going to help you is because it's going to help you to build and maintain lead consistency. It's going to help you to scale, understand what you need for AI and to make more leads and sales. And then it's also going to help you to be more visible with your brand and developing that brand to get in front of more clients and businesses every single day. And for taking the time to be with me here now on this webinar. I'm going to give you the very best prize that I can. So I just want to say, for those watching on replay, for those joining live, this is an early bird offer which is not available to anyone else. So there are 3 key packages. There is a standard package, which is $197. There is a VIP package, which is $497. And there's an elite package, which is $997, but there are only 10 spaces for that elite package. And in addition to these offers, and I'm going to give you the specific landing page and the stack as well in a moment, but I just want to tell you as well that for those who purchase in the next 2 days, you will also get 3 funnel templates, so designs that you can simply copy exactly for lead magnets, for online offers to generate more leads via a landing page as well. Plus, you will get every AI masterclass that I have taught. You will get, as I said, all my 5 GPTs. So if you sign up now, and if you sign up for Elite in the next 2 days, you will get your own AI call agent, which will be programmed and set up for you. That will be done for you. And like I say, those AI call agents are able to call thousands of numbers. And in addition to that, how that will work is that it will be, again, set up specifically for you and for your business, and maintained, of course, by me. And so, again, this will be a very, very easy way for you to simply get started with that, and for you to start to build your cold outreach in a way which is going to feel incredibly easy and seamless. And the things that might stop you to say yes, maybe you're saying you don't have time to learn AI. Maybe you have told yourself that you're waiting for more followers, or you're still waiting to figure it out. And I completely understand that. Or maybe you've said there just isn't enough budget. But let me ask you, what is really stopping you right now? Because if you're at this point with me right now, I believe that you want seriously a good and viable solution to solve this problem. I believe you don't just want training and information, you want to make sure that problem is resolved for good. And the price for this offer will go up on February the 25th, and the bonuses for this offer will go away on the 21st of February. So this is a time sensitive offer. So if you are purchasing the elite offer, you will get everything. So this is how to double your business growth and leads in 14 days. So you will get the standard package, you will get the VIP, and everything you see under elite if you sign up for elite. If you sign up for a standard package, that is $197. If you sign up for the VIP, that is $497, and you get everything in the standard package. Then you get everything in the VIP package. And that includes one-to-one coaching sessions with me. It includes group AI strategy, leads and automation workshop for 90 minutes, 2 live group Q&A calls. So that is a more group accountability package in session. And that will allow you to learn alongside your peers, to learn alongside others, ask questions, test and learn. So again, that is more of a group option. And then, of course, the elite option is more of a one-to-one option. It is more done for you. And that is where you get maximum support as well. So with that, I'm also going to give you a view of what this looks like should you decide to go forward. What can you expect? So the first thing that would happen and be implemented was you would have a specific plan for every day in terms of like specific steps to apply. This is around your development of your lead gen messaging and the specific mechanisms to make your lead gen happen. Then, of course, we would be reviewing all of your social media platform profiles. We will be leveraging the AI GPTs and, of course, database lists, which I will prepare for you, dependent on the package you purchase, a different number of leads, but every single package has a number of leads included. Then, of course, in terms of automating lead gen activities, that is something we will look to work on as well. And then, of course, in terms of the online course, that is included in all 3 packages. And then just 2 of the packages include coaching, either one-to-one and or group coaching as well. So what if there was just another way that we could do this all together and we could make this easier for you and you could have that support, and you could, like I say, just trial another way. I also want to share with you there is a gamification element to taking part in these packages and this challenge. And this is something that I call the superhero ascent. So we will have a specific gamified system around, again, LinkedIn connections, meeting bookings, replies in the DM. You can see the points listed here on the screen. For those of you that love to play games, this is going to be the perfect way for you to get maximum points, and also beat and exceed your previous scores, but also those of your peers to see the efforts. And you can see as well, there is a result of earning more points. You get a different status. So you start with to get to 40 points, then you have your sidekick status. For 60 points, you're a hero in training. And you can see as well, there are some additional bonuses that become available. You get 3 extra coaching calls if you get to 60 points. 75 points, you're a master of lead generation. And you will get your certificate, and you will also, you will essentially, you will get a t-shirt and you will be top in the games and top of the leaderboard. So this is, like I say, this is a fun part to the course, to these packages. And this is where we want to see the best performers win based on merit, based on efforts, and based on applying the system. So again, there will also be fun things like Zoom backgrounds and badges and of course, your dedication spot in the awesome wall and walk of fame. So lots to look forward to in that way as well. So let's also think about how doing the gamification challenge can help you based on, again, the law of averages. And if you got 100 leads and your conversion is 3 to 5%, how quickly that would add up for you and turn into new clients and conversion and revenue based on your efforts. And here's the ROI as well that you can expect based on your investment on your package. What are just 3 sales of your offer worth? And what if you times that by 4? Again, very quickly, you start to see very significant ROI. And that continues as you continue to apply the system as well. So again, in terms of the potential ROI, there's significant ROI for those that not only apply the system, see results, but continue to apply that. And of course, I always like to reward first movers and those who, again, so for those who want to take advantage of this offer, they're ready to go and they're seeing this on the replay as well. I want you to know that there's an 100% satisfaction guarantee with this, with these programs. And in terms of the guarantee, of course, I want you to know as well that all of the packages exclude any subscriptions for software tools, for lead generation and AI. But of course, many of those tools do have free tools and you can try the free trials as well. Then I also want to let you know that premium GPT subscription is a requirement to see results from the GPTs because they are set up for ChatGPT Premium. And that's just simply because ChatGPT have offered them like that. And then, of course, in terms of the bigger guarantee, so you complete 30% of this course, and let's say that after that point you want a refund within 21 days of starting, I will, and this again, I will give you a refund plus 50% on the standard package. Now, what I also want to tell you is that for the VIP and the elite package, as your guarantee, I will guarantee that if you do not see the specific results in 14 days and in the time of the guarantee, which is 14 to 21 days from the point of purchase, I will give you, if you leverage all of your available coaching in that time, I will give you ongoing coaching for free. And I will guarantee to do that until you see the results that you signed up for. So I want you to know that you have my guarantee on the VIP and the elite packages in terms of ongoing coaching if required. But again, I don't expect that would be needed, but I want you to know that you're backed by a guarantee. In terms of the deadline for this specific offer, so this closes on the 25th of February at midnight, and then all of the prices will be going up again to the standard pricing. In terms of the funnel design templates and lead magnets and lead generation bonuses that I offered, again, these will need to be set up either by you or with the help of a funnel designer, and I can recommend some low-cost ones. But I want you to also be clear that I have offered them like this because there are different platforms and funnel design tools. So I don't want to give them just for just one specific brand of tool because then some people can't take these and apply them. So if you're ready to get started today, let me tell you, there has never been a better time. And I also want to invite you, if you're live on this webinar as well, to ask any questions around the offer. And right now, so you can see here, there is a code to scan. You can scan the barcode on the screen to get to the offer page. You can also go to https www.aibizauto.com/packages. You'll find the 3 packages there. There is a screenshot here of the 3 packages. And with that, we're going to go on to a 5-minute break. And then we're going to come back and we're going to do a Q&A. So if anyone does have questions as they're looking at the offer page, I want to invite you just to save those questions for them. So we're starting our 5-minute break now, and then we will be right back. So stay with me on this webinar. If you are looking at the offer page and you have some questions, again, We're going to come back and do Q&A. So make sure you stay. And with that, I'm going to start the 5 minutes right now. Okay, so we have just 1 minute to go, 1 minute to go before we're going to get started. All right. So thank you so much to everyone for um, taking a break. And yes, I hope that in terms of that break, you had the opportunity to take a look at the offer page. I also do want to just share with you with regards to, oh, that's just the timer there. Yes, I want to first share with you as well how grateful I am to everyone who joined live today. For those who have taken part and participated in this session, well done to Bavin as well for winning his prize in the competition. And of course, now I just want to share with you, I've got something else that I would love to share. So I'm just going to share something quick in terms of my screen here. Let me just hope that I do not share. Just one second. All right, so we are going to share. We're going to go to here, and we're just going to have a quick look at this. Ooh, no, we're not that one. Sorry, apologies. And we're going to take a quick look right here at something that I've prepared just to share with you in terms of this is in terms of my channel. And now I'm just going to play something for you um, special, which I prepared earlier today. Just take a quick look at this as well. Here we go. We are just doing a very quick breakout of our main session. All right. So thank you everyone for taking a quick look at my screen there. I'm just going to stop presenting and go back to our slides now. Um, so with that, again, we will go back to our slides and to what we are looking at today, which is the final part of our webinar. So now I want to invite you, you've had any questions from this session in terms of lead generation, the challenges that you're specifically working with, anything at all that you would like me to help with regards to your lead generation. I want to help you, like I said, to make progress. So please do share with me around, anything specific that you would like. And I do have, in terms of your FAQs and some potential questions, in terms of this lead generation coaching system, this is going to enable you, importantly, to create new leads in at least 14 days without needing an agency. It's going to help to teach you to proactively implement and manage lead generation over time as well. And an AI tool is not able to do this at the moment. Like I say, this is about the strategy, this is about the sales framework, and it's designed to be very actionable and simple, so that anyone can apply it with no technical background as well. So with that, I now want to invite any final questions, from the floor. I want to invite, anyone who has questions to please share them in the chat for the final time. And I will, like I say, we are then going to go into a 10-minute break. But before we do that, I want to say a huge thank you to all of those who are watching this on the replay. Thank you for giving the opportunity to yourself, to your business, to learn more about lead generation. I really hope you've found some useful strategies and simple techniques that you can take and apply for your DMs, for your email lead generation, and of course for your prompts. Don't forget, we have included prompts on the buyer persona. You will be getting some resources, which I mentioned earlier, in terms of the lead generation playbook, also the persona templates, and the lead generation checklist as well, which should, like I said earlier, help you to get some initial results on your own. But again, if you want to see significant results, if you feel again like you want some more accountability, then it's going to be important to review and choose the right coaching package for you with the online course as well. So again, I've poured my heart and soul into this process, this new offer, and again, I really strongly believe that as a result of more focus on lead generation, that you will see improved results. I know it's possible, and for you. And like I say, if you do decide to take the leap, if you decide to step forward, then I really look forward to being your coach and your mentor as part of this next step in this process. Again, this offer is not for everyone, but it is for those who are ready to take action, to see some results, and to really move forward and work on some of these challenges in a way which is, like we said, just going to completely overcome and overpower those challenges. If you want something more substantial than just what I've shared and taught today, then by all means do sign up before the offer closes on the 25th of February. Don't forget as well that the bonuses will go in the next 2 days. So I'm checking the chat, I'm scanning the chat. I don't see any current questions from the audience. So as a result, I would like to just thank everyone so much again for joining today. Thank you for your commitment to improving in lead generation by attending this session live or watching this replay. And like I said, it's a pleasure to have you in my community, to be connected to you. And with that, I thank you so much once again, and I look forward to seeing your journey, hopefully supporting that journey as well around lead generation with AI. I think it's a super exciting opportunity, and I'd love you to be part of that if that is something that you can see for yourself. So, with that being said, if we're now going to dive into a final 10-minute break. So thank you again to everyone for joining. We'll go into a 10-minute break, and I can't wait to hear how you found this session and the next steps with lead generation. Thanks, everyone.